What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another weather forecast by Adrian's Weather Forecast. And as you guessed, this will be another fall and winter week related video. I do deeply apologize for not posting yesterday. This video I'm making now was supposed to come out yesterday. However, I was very busy and I did not have any time to record whatsoever. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. So today will be my last video on fall. And then the next 3 days, so Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday will all be related towards winter. So hopefully, I know a lot of you guys are more interested in winter than fall. So this should be an exciting turn of events for you guys as we get towards tomorrow. Where tomorrow I'll possibly have my preliminary winter forecast out. But in this video, we're going to be talking about who will see the coldest fall. So yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, we did who will see the snowiest fall. So now we're going to be seeing who will see the coldest fall. And this video is going to be rather short. I'm not going to really include a lot of the reasoning and ENSO forecasts and all that. So if you guys want to see my reasoning towards my actual map, I recommend you guys watch the last 2 videos I did. Because I go over the ENSO, I go over the overall monthly forecast, I go over everything. And I just don't want to go through that a third time in a row, explaining the same things and making a longer video than it actually has to be. But before we get into the video, I recommend you guys subscribe to the channel. We are definitely almost getting closer to 6,100 subscribers, so I really appreciate that. As well, be sure to smash that like button so you guys know. So I know you guys like videos like this. And as well, if you guys want to get notified when I do my winter videos in the next 3 days, I would recommend you guys smash that bell icon. And I obviously will continue to have these tropical related videos. But without further ado, let's see who's going to see the coldest fall. So here's my map on who I obviously think will have the coldest and then who will see the warmest fall. So obviously, this is very similar to my actual fall temperature forecast. You can kind of see a similarity. This is actually my what I had in my fall forecast video, the temperature anomaly, and this is obviously my map I have for this video. So it's kind of slightly different because obviously if I made it kind of 100% similar, it's basically a useless video. But this is obviously going to be based on average and overall, so you can kind of get a better idea of what my fall forecast. You can kind of see, if you watch my fall forecast, you have a better idea of whether you're going to be seeing a colder fall or warmer fall without even watching this video. But for those who didn't watch that fall forecast, I recommend you guys watch that, as I also have my reasoning and everything on that. I think that's my longest video so far this week. A lot of great detail. So if you want to get extreme detail, I recommend watching that video first and then watching this video next. But let's go ahead and get into the actual forecast and description of what I think, where I think we'll be seeing the coldest and warmest fall. So first, obviously, the blues and purple signify cold or cooler, and then in the yellow, orange, and red we have warmer or slightly warmer. But let's actually go ahead and start looking at the light blue color. So in the light blue color, that stretches from portions of Oregon down to the northern Texas Panhandle, all the way up to areas like Michigan. And that's where I think we'll be seeing possibly slightly below average temperatures this fall, so possibly a little cooler than the actual average. This is obviously based on average. So let's say your average high in Kansas City in the fall or October is maybe 60 degrees. Maybe it's 58. Maybe it's 57. So it's going to be slightly cooler throughout the 4-month time period. Obviously, there's still going to be some frequent warm fronts. There's still going to be warmer waves. However, overall, from September to December, I think you guys will be seeing a slightly cooler fall. There's always going to be at times where there's a significant Arctic blast, obviously, but overall averaged out, you guys may see anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees below average overall. So you can kind of see the overall pattern where we see possibly some Arctic blast going all the way down in here, possibly across portions of the Central Plains. And obviously, this obviously kind of correlates as well with my who will see the snowiest fall. That kind of correlates. In the darker blue color, kind of near the navy blue, it's obviously further northern and then further northward in the United States and across portions of the northern Great Lakes. That's where I think we'll be seeing obviously a lot colder of a fall compared to the first shade of blue. So in this navy blue, we may see anywhere from 3 to 6 degrees below average across the whole 4-month time period. Warm fronts will be a lot less frequent, still maybe 1 or 2 throughout that 4-month time period, maybe a third smaller one, but overall, Arctic blast and very large cold fronts will be likely, especially more into the late season. Obviously, this doesn't really necessarily deal with September, but once we get towards past mid-October, I think this is where this map will actually verify. Definitely a chance for some good possibly Halloween type cold fronts, maybe some good November cold fronts, and overall as well, possibly some nice early December cold fronts correlated with possibly a positive Arctic oscillation, where we see that nice cold air sticking around, specifically in the northwest. We may see a clipper or so in the late season. However, overall, I think in that dark blue, we may see 3 to 6 degrees below average overall. Obviously, there could be some cold fronts where there's 15 degrees below average, maybe 20, but overall, 3 to 6 degrees below average. So definitely a not disappointing fall if you like cold weather. And obviously, that will obviously maybe correlate to the snowiest fall, because here is the snowiest fall forecast. So it kind of all correlates, really. In the purple color, you guess, in the purple color, that's where we're seeing our coldest fall based on your average. So let's say Billings, Montana, your average high, and let's do Bozeman. Let's say, for example, Bozeman, Montana, your average high in October is 40 degrees. Maybe it's 30 degrees. Maybe it's 31 degrees. So I think there we may see 6+ degrees below average overall for the 4-month time period. This is where I think warm fronts will be a lot less likely overall. Whether we see a positive or even a negative Arctic oscillation, this region will always see that cold air as well overall. Just looking at some nice, that nice Arctic jets. That's going to move in quite frequently, kind of stay around that general blue shaded area. So that's going to really allow for that deep, nice, high pressure, that nice, dry, cold air to stick around across portions of Montana, Dakotas, and overall portions of the Pacific Northwest. So there, I think it's going to definitely be quite cold compared to your average, and as well stay like that for much of that time period. Obviously, maybe a week or so, maybe slightly warmer than the other, but overall, I think you guys get the point. Same thing correlates what I've kind of said, but opposite. So in that yellow color, we're going to be seeing slightly above average temperatures, maybe a degree or two above average for the whole 4-month time period. Cold fronts will be more, cold fronts will be less likely, but there's going to be maybe 1 or 2. Especially, they're going to, if anywhere is going to be seeing, and it's yellow, likelihood of cold fronts is going to be this region, the eastern United States. This portion has the best probability to see actual cold fronts, while the southwest maybe see just 1 or 2. But I wouldn't doubt if we see closer to average conditions across the southeast and of course of the mid-Atlantic and east coast. However, overall, I think we may see 1 or 2 degrees above average, but you really won't notice it. Let's say, for example, in Atlanta, your average high in November is 62 degrees, or maybe 60 degrees. Let's say maybe it's 62 or 63 or maybe 64. It just really depends. However, some cold fronts may actually make their way all the way down here, so it's going to be, maybe it's just kind of on and off, really. But the yellow here in the southwest will be kind of different. In the west will be different stories. That's where cold fronts will actually be a lot less, a lot less likely than what we see in the northeast of New England. And the orange color, obviously, there's going to be a less chance of actually seeing cold fronts, and really, really unlikely that cold fronts in the fall season actually make their way all the way down there across Texas and Louisiana, just overall based on the La Nina, possibly overall condition. With that Pacific jet staying far to the north, it's going to be overall kind of dry and warm across that region, specifically in the southwest. But in that orange color, may be anywhere from maybe 3 to 6 degrees above average. So let's say your average high in Lake Charles in November is 70 degrees, maybe it's 73, maybe it's 74. So overall, maybe a chance for maybe 1 cold front, maybe a second less significant cold front, but obviously we'll be still seeing some time frames where it is slightly below average. And then last but not least, in that red color in the deep southwest, very unlikely to see many cold fronts at all. I mean, it's maybe 1 cold front, but it's going to be really warm across much of the fall season. Not only that, but even fire weather will be concerned if the monsoon season does not persist, and if that subtropical jet stream in the Pacific jet stays far to the north, allowing for that more stormy weather towards the north with that actual Rossby wave, which will be obviously the Great Lakes and obviously the Rockies and portions of the Sierras. So that's going to be a lot for dry and just overall really, I guess, just ugly conditions for fall. It's not going to be good at all, dry and warm. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in my winter forecast tomorrow.